it's Dr. Ashley Southard here for a new episode of WeighOut Wednesday. I'm coming to you from Scottsdale, Arizona with a new beginning outpatient treatment center and the Healthy Way Out Emotional and Binge Eating Weight Loss Program. So this month we are in the middle of summer. We're talking about common summertime stressors that can leave you feeling emotionally vulnerable and overwhelmed, which can be a huge setup for emotional and binge eating. So today I want to tackle the sensitive and charged topic around clothes in summertime. It is hot, hot, hot outside, and most people are taking this opportunity to jump into their swimsuits, shorts, and tank tops and head out to the water, head out to picnics, and just have a good old time outside. But for a lot of people struggling with emotional and binge eating, there tends to be this added component of feeling uncomfortable with their weight. And as a result of that, a lot of times they will cover up their bodies and wear clothes that don't really fit with the summertime season. So maybe this is something that you can relate to. While everyone else is wearing their swimsuits and their shorts and their tank tops, maybe you are wearing your jeans, your long sleeve shirts, and most definitely not getting into a swimsuit at the beach. Is that something that you can relate to? Well, if so, this is really, really common. And unfortunately, it's something that so many of my clients that I work with talk about and think about throughout summer, and even thinking about it or anticipating certain events where maybe the expectation would be to wear a swimsuit or summer clothing that's more revealing can be very, very stressful, and that in and of itself can be a trigger for emotional and binge eating. Now, what breaks my heart is when my clients talk about this relationship with their body and this relationship with their clothes, and they use heart-wrenching words like, I hate my body is disgusting, I feel so embarrassed. Are those words that you can relate to? Well, if so, you are not alone. The self-loathing and the self-critical way of relating is so very common. And as a result of hating your body and feeling ashamed and embarrassed of it, the very natural tendency then is to want to cover it up or to hide it so that people don't see it, so that people don't judge it, okay? And you cover it up and you hide it by putting on inappropriate clothing in the summertime, by wearing jeans and long sleeve shirts, okay? By going to the beach and hiding out in long shorts so that nobody has to see your legs or your arms or your stomach. All right. Now, what I'm going to encourage you to think about is where this self-loathing and shame comes from. Because you know what? When we are born, we actually really love and embrace our bodies. If you've ever been around a baby or a toddler, they love their bellies. They love their legs. They love their arms and their fingers. They're fascinated by their bodies. They have no sense that there's anything wrong with their body. They're just in wonder and awe. But somewhere along the way in our culture, we learn that our bodies should look a certain way to make everyone else around us happy. We learn that we have to look a certain way in order to be considered beautiful or acceptable. And we learn, unfortunately, that thin is what is desired. And we take in those messages, and when we feel as though our own body doesn't match those messages and those expectations, we become super, super critical of ourselves. So I want to ask you, where along the way did you learn to become critical and ashamed of your own body? Where does that come from? Because you weren't born that way. So somewhere along the way, you have had experiences that have taught you that your body is something to be ashamed of, and something to work on, and something to cover up. Okay? For a lot of people, this traces back into early years of their life, maybe with people in their family or people in their friendship circle, people at school, where they got very powerful messages that they should look a certain way and or that their body is something to be ashamed of or that their body is somehow not okay. So just take a moment and think back in your own personal story. Where did you get those messages? And when children receive those messages of shame and disapproval, they internalize those messages, and that then becomes how they relate to themselves as adults. So here you are today, maybe with a really exciting family beach vacation coming up, and you're dreading it because you don't want to put on a swimsuit, and you're beating yourself up and coming up with lots of different ways you can hide your body because you feel so ashamed of it. Where did you learn that process? All right, we really want to look at that because you are now doing to yourself as an adult probably what was done to you as a child in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so a big part of resolving a lot of these body issues is first kind of going back and appreciating where this shame comes from, where this hatred comes from, and then learning that we can actually respond to ourselves differently today. All right, so that's what I want to offer you as some tips today for how to deal with this summertime stress around clothing. So let's talk about how you can start to change this relationship with your body in the context of wearing swimsuits and tank tops and shorts during these hot summer months, okay? Now, typically when people think about addressing this issue and getting ready for the summertime, they think, oh, I better lose weight. And we hear that all the time in the media, right? It's swimsuit season. How do you want to shed those 20 pounds? Why don't you sign up for this diet? So it makes a lot of sense that you would naturally think that way. But as most of you probably have already experienced, and we here at the Healthy Way Out know that diets don't work. Yes, they may work in the short term to achieve weight loss. A lot of people can lose weight on diets, but most people can't sustain that weight loss because diets are not a sustainable way of relating to food. They're not fun, they're not enjoyable, and they're just not a way of eating that we can do for the rest of our lives. So eventually we stop the diet, and eventually then our body gains back that weight. So we don't want to go the path of thinking, I have to change my body, therefore I have to go on a diet to get ready for the summertime season and to be ready to wear a swimsuit or shorts. That's really not the approach we want to take. Now, if you want to work on weight loss for yourself, if that's a personal goal of yours, that can be okay. And it can be done in a really healthy, loving, compassionate, sustainable way. And if you check out some of my previous videos, I talk about how to approach weight loss in a different way that's not dieting, that's not shaming, that's not deprivation based, because it is possible to do that. It is okay to want to change your body, but it's not okay to do it in a way that's self-deprecating and shaming and cruel to your sense of self. But what I want to talk about more today is how can you kind of arm yourself psychologically and emotionally so that you can get in that swimsuit and those shorts and go have a splendid summer. That is absolutely what you deserve, okay? So we really want to put our efforts into how can you work on compassionately working with your body today in the shape that it is in today, not after you lose weight, not after you make changes to your body, but summer's here now. How can you enjoy yourself now in the body that you're in today? Okay? Now, don't hit pause. Don't roll your eyes. I know that this can be kind of a frustrating topic and certainly a frustrating conversation, but the reality is summer is here. Life is happening now, right? Memories are being created now. I don't want you to wait until your body changes. I don't want you to feel like life can happen when you lose X number of pounds. That's not living life. Living life is about seizing the moment today and really getting out there and doing those amazing things that you want to do today. Your body deserves to be able to do that. So I want you to put on that swimsuit and I want you to put on those shorts and I want you to go out there and have an awesome summer. I don't want you to wait until your body changes and you feel it's acceptable and fits into society standards of what you should look like in any particular piece of clothing, okay? So this is a pep talk about how you can get out and enjoy summer today. So let's talk about a couple of things that you can do to arm yourself to be able to do that. I think the biggest hurdle is really moving past the discomfort that can come with feeling like your body doesn't look the way you want it to, or maybe it doesn't look the way you think society wants it to. And as a result, maybe people are going to notice. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you're going to be at the beach and you're going to be in your swimsuit, and maybe people are going to notice. Who knows? Chances are slim that people really pay attention to that stuff because honestly, everybody's feeling uncomfortable in their body, unfortunately. Everybody's worrying about how they look and not really paying attention to how everyone else looks, okay? So I want you to remember that. Most people are just as stressed about how they look in their swimsuit, no matter their size. They're just as stressed as you are. And everybody assumes that everyone else is looking at them, and really that's not the case. Now, let's say you are in your swimsuit, you are at the beach, and people are looking at you. Maybe you are getting that snicker or that sneer or that look or that pointing. It's horrible. That should not be happening. Nobody should care what anybody else looks like. Everyone should be thrilled that we're all together having a good time. But unfortunately, that's not reality, right? There are times when people stare. There are times when they snicker and sneer and make rude comments, and that breaks my heart, and it's not okay, but it does happen. So how are you going to live your life anyway? Here's what I want you to remember, that it is not your job to make anybody around you more comfortable with how you look. That is not your job. If somebody's uncomfortable with how you look in a swimsuit, that's their problem. And you know what? That's a window into their own insecurities and their own issues that they need to work through. It's really not about you. They don't even know you. They're never going to see you again. What do they care? And if they're really going to put the energy into staring and snickering and sneering, that's on them. So how can you be okay with the fact that other people may not like what they see? And oh well, that's their problem. You are there at this vacation, at this beach, or even just at work wanting to wear a tank top. You are there to live your life and to feel comfortable in your body and to do what you want to do. And if other people don't like that, that's their problem. I really want you to work on embracing this mindset because it is not your job to protect other people's eyes from seeing something that they don't want to see. That is too bad if they don't like how you look in certain clothing. I want you to focus on how do you feel in your clothing, what makes you feel beautiful, what makes you feel comfortable, and you gotta wear those clothes. Okay? So it's really, really important that you get into a mindset that what other people are thinking about you truly, truly, truly isn't any of your business. And if they try to make it your business by staring or pointing, you've got to find the strength inside to say, you know what? I am here. I am having a good time. And if you don't like how I look, that is your problem. It is okay to think that way. It is not your job to make others comfortable with how you look. Okay? So that's my first tip. I know it's hard to get into that mindset. It's hard for everybody. It's especially hard if you're feeling very uncomfortable in your own skin. But trust me, this is super important that you practice this state of mind over and over and over again because it is going to be the thing that will help you get out there and live your life today and not wait for your body to change before you start living your life. Because you know what? That's actually a trap. The more you wait for your body to change before you live life, the less likely your body is to change. Because when we live life, we feel a lot better. When we live life, we feel fulfilled. So then we're a lot less likely to emotionally binge eat. And if you're not emotionally and binge eating, you're probably then giving your body a chance to get to a weight that's really comfortable for your own body. So it becomes a very positive cycle. Live today, seize the moment today. Your eating will improve a lot and your body will respond to that. Okay? So get into this mindset that it is not your responsibility to make other people comfortable with how you look. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them stare. It will be okay. Go out there and live your life. The second piece of advice that I want to offer you relative to summertime clothing is to think about the types of clothing that you're wearing. Now, typically, when I'm working with people who are struggling with emotional and binge eating and related weight issues, what I hear is that they are wearing clothes that A, are too small, and B, they don't really like. All right, and maybe this is something you can relate to. Oftentimes, my clients will talk about wearing clothes that are too small as a motivator for losing weight and changing their bodies. The thought process is, I refuse to buy bigger clothes because that's just giving in to the weight gain and giving in to my binge eating. So I'm going to force myself to wear these clothes that are a little bit too small because it will remind me how miserable I am, and it will force me then to not overeat so that I lose weight. That may seem logical in theory, but it actually doesn't work that way for most people. For most people, if you spend a day in clothes that are too small, you feel horrible, all right, both physically and emotionally. Clothes that are too small can be a horrible physical sensation. If you have pants that are pinching you at the waist or a shirt that's too small, it's not comfortable, okay? It's a constant reminder all day that you don't feel good in your body. And this can be a trigger actually for a lot of that critical self-talk, that self-hatred, and that self-loathing, which, as I mentioned before, then becomes the impetus for more emotional and binge eating. So paradoxically, wearing clothes that are too small can actually lead to more emotional and binge eating. Now, the other thing that I tend to hear is that people are wearing clothes that they don't really like, that don't really represent who they are, because they feel like they don't deserve to wear those clothes. That if they're at a certain size and they're not comfortable with that size, they should just be wearing bland, plain clothes that they can kind of hide in the background in. And when they lose weight, then they'll start wearing clothes that represent themselves more. So many of my clients who are struggling with these issues will come in wearing a lot of black or brown or navy blue, a lot of jackets, a lot of clothes that kind of cover them up that really don't represent their beautiful, wonderful, colorful personalities. And when we talk about clothing, they'll say, actually, I have a lot of beautiful blouses in my closet, or I have some skirts or shorts that I really like, but I just refuse to wear them. I mean, at this size, I can't wear that. And I'll say, really? Why is that? Why can't you wear those? Maybe you are uncomfortable in your size. Maybe you do want to create some change in your body. That has to be done in a loving way, of course. But today, right here, right now, you also deserve to be wearing those beautiful clothes that really showcase your wonderful, colorful personality. So don't wait until your body changes. Don't wait until you're at a weight that you feel comfortable with or a weight that you feel like society is comfortable with. Do it today. Get those clothes out and wear them. Show off your wonderful self. Clothing is one way that we express ourselves. And if you're all covered up in, long sleeve black clothes or long sleeve black pants, and really you want to be wearing that bright turquoise blouse or that colorful necktie, do it. Today's the day. Do it. So get those summertime clothes out that I know you have tucked away, that I know you want to wear, and give yourself permission to put them on. You are beautiful today. You may not feel that, and that's okay, but you still have to treat yourself with the kindness and the respect and the love that your body deserves every day. And your body does not deserve to be hidden and covered up. That leads to shame, And shame leads to self-loathing, and self-loathing leads to emotional and binge eating. So get out the clothes that make you feel beautiful and alive, and wear them. And when it comes to summertime, get that swimsuit out and go live. Go to the beach, create those memories, have the fun, all right? Get out those tank tops and wear them. Be comfortable. It is hot outside. You don't want to be in long sleeves. Get the tank tops out. Enjoy them. Life is too short to stay covered up and hiding in the shadows, all right? Even if you're uncomfortable in your own skin, I want you to do this anyway because this is actually going to help you get more comfortable in your own skin. It's going to help you learn the importance and the value of self-love. And when you start living from that place of loving yourself and living life to its fullest, you know what? You're going to feel a lot better about life, and you're not going to be overeating nearly as much, okay? So while this may seem paradoxical, this is the very thing you need to be doing, all right? So those are my 2 tips for you about how to navigate the clothing of summertime. First is you really have to be okay with other people being uncomfortable with how you look. If that's even happening, we don't know. But if it is, you've got to be okay with that. It is not your job to make other people comfortable with how you look. And secondly, your clothes have to be comfortable and they have to represent your beautiful, vibrant, bright self. Get the colors out. Get the sleeveless ones out. Get the shorts and the swimsuits and go live your life, okay? When you do those things, your emotional and binge eating is going to lessen. I promise. All right? So if you have some other tips for how you have navigated through the clothing challenges of summertime, please leave them in the comments below so that others can benefit from your wisdom as well. This is a very dense and loaded topic. There's a whole lot more we could say here. I just don't have the time. But if you have some other things that you'd like to add, we are all ears. This is a community. We want to help each other, okay? All right, so it's time for you to go into your closet, find those clothes. I know you have them hidden in there. I know there's a part of you that so desperately wants to get them out. So get them out, enjoy them. Don't worry about what everyone else is thinking. Life is way too short for that. And I'll be back here next week for another summertime stressor and some tips for how to tackle it. Okay? Have a great week. See you soon. Bye-bye.